Hello everyone, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today, this evening, wherever in the world you are? I hope you're all staying safe and well, and that this lockdown isolation is not taking its toll. I hope that you're using the time to rediscover things that maybe you haven't done for quite some time. I know that I am. I got into the kitchen and had a go at baking bread, and I reckon some of you are doing that too. So unfortunately, I think I killed my yeast with water that was too hot, but I'll have another go. I'll have another go tonight, and perhaps leave it proofing, as they say, to rise, perhaps a little bit longer than what I did yesterday. I'm also getting outside. I'm lucky I've got some open space around me. I'm also getting outside and taking those walks, just to clear the air, just to be, to be outside, to be outdoors. I think is quite healthy. I'm having a real focus on nutrition and really staying stress free. So these are all things that that you can do while you're in lockdown. Now, I'm going to do a couple of readings today, but first I'm going to start with an update on what is happening globally. You know what I'm talking about. I have to say that Sun card that keeps coming forward in my readings is actually telling me that it means the coronavirus. So we'll look out for that Sun card. I want to do a couple of things today. So will there be a breakthroughs? My readers have been really good at keeping me up to date with things. And one reader sent through a news story of I think it was in California, a medical team, was interviewed on their, is it San Diego news channel. And there've been a breakthrough. Of course, other medical teams around the world have been looking at not just vaccines, but antibodies. So an antibody is an antibody treatment, let's just put it like that, is quicker to get from the lab out to people, because you can test it in real time. Doesn't need to go through lengthy approval processes and mechanisms. So they believe, this team has, and I think if I can find the link, I'll put it there for you below this video. They believe they have a pretty good antibody now. So I've always seen the timeline on this, that around June, July, we get a reprieve of some sort. I wonder if that's an antibody or whether that's going to take longer, but we'll take a look, perhaps what that timeline is. I've asked Spirit to give me a bit of help with that, because the tarot isn't good with timelines, but we'll see what we can get. So let's just see, are there any breakthroughs? We know, oh look, 43 labs are working on a vaccine. That's about 12 months or more off. But is there another treatment breakthrough in the works? Let's have a look. Is there a treatment breakthrough for this virus in the works? Is there a treatment breakthrough? I'm feeling that there is. I'm feeling pretty positive about that. And we've got our yes card, the Ace of Swords. Now, I'm using my Tarot of Dreams for those that like to know what tarot pack I'm using. This is a Cairo Marchetti deck, and I like Cairo Marchetti decks. But this is also heavy on the astrology as well, so I thought it might help us there. Now, the Ace of Swords, this is an air, this is communication, this is strategies, this is planning, this is new starts. The Ace of Swords, if I had have asked Spirit for a yes card or a no card, this would be one of my strongest yes cards, because aces are all about new starts. So that's the signifier card. We're looking pretty good there. It appears that there could be a breakthrough in the works. It could be around this antibody treatment, or another treatment that enables us to manage this whole situation a little bit better than what we are doing. We're confined at the moment to lockdowns. If something else came through that we could give sick people, that would free up our ICU beds. It would be a game changer. Now, the challenge is the Knight of Wands, and this is a very quick moving knight, and there's a passion in here as well. They're highly motivated. This is fire energy. This is Mars also in Aquarius. This is fire drive. There's a high level, obviously, of motivation. And we see this right throughout everything from the what work that Bill Gates and even Richard Branson from Virgin Airlines, he's an entrepreneur, is funding certain measures. We've just got this real coming together to try and work this out. So this tells me it is in the works. It absolutely is in the works, but it won't be here tomorrow. And of course, common sense would tell us that it does have to go through clinical trials. Perhaps not as lengthy as a vaccine, but yeah, we're looking good. There is something in the works here. The challenge here is the Lover's card. Sorry, not the challenge, the foundation of the reading. This is strength, okay? This is the strength of the reading. And the Lover's card would tell me this is the unification of what we're seeing globally. Now, supplies have been going out to China. PPE have been going to China and other places as a bidding war kind of erupts, particularly in the US. There's been a lot of emergency supplies going out of your country. But by the same token, there's also been a lot of unity. You've got people making up care packs for frontline staff. You've got examples every day of the way that we're coming together, and this shows me that it won't be governments that and their actions that will be responsible for this breakthrough. It's actually going to be the unity amongst the science community, amongst the entrepreneurial community, that is going to achieve this breakthrough for us. So ultimately it will be science, and so this is why I'm feeling it is something like this antibody treatment here. We've got the Tower in the past, and this is a breaking down of structures, and I see that every day. I have to go to America and to understand just how much we're seeing that we can't rely on government. Interestingly, this is also a Mars energy as well, which shows that this unfolded very, very quickly. Let's keep going. The Page of Coins. Now that is news of some description. That is in the potential future. So I feel while it's not going to be a vaccine, it's actually going to be helpful treatment. Right now, though, in the immediate future, I'm sorry to say that this is the Seven of Swords, and to me, this also represents the virus. It steals in. We don't know it's there, and it takes from us. So I'm not surprised to see these heavy cards. This is the moon energy as well. And this is also an Aquarius energy. So that's in the immediate future. So again, the Saturn in Aquarius, these really heavy astrological patterns. But I do feel that once we get to about July, we're starting to see things improve. This Seven of Swords is also what we're seeing with the PPE. We're getting people hoarding. I know that the FBI in America raided and was able to find masks. We're seeing this kind of governments, and including China too, just not being as forthcoming. This is lies, this is deceit. So we're seeing these structures break down, and I want to remind you that it's a wake-up call for us. In January, we were talking about something big coming, something on our doorstep, which was going to wake us up, and we were going to complete a cycle. So these weren't just words. For anyone that was listening, something was on the way, a big wake-up call. So the Five of Coins, money loss at the moment. This could also be funding as well for various projects. I know in the video that I watched, I think his name was... No, I won't even attempt to remember. I'll put the link in the video. The doctor responsible for the trial of these antibodies was now talking to not just American backers, but also Asian backers as well, because they wanted to make the virus as freely available across the world as possible. And so there could be joint trials in America and in other parts of the world. They were also talking to the EU. So quite a hopeful video. I love it when that star of hope comes up. So yes, we've got some kind of treatment breakthrough, I think, coming in the next few months. The Knight of Cups, the fear is that it will be short-lived, but this is also an offer coming forward. The doctor, the scientist that is working on this antibody did say it will cover people for about 8 to 10 weeks, and it can be given to people who are very unwell with the virus to stimulate their immune system to actually recover. So it's not a lasting answer, is what I'm feeling in these cards, but it is going to be helpful. The Tree of Life, I usually take this card out, but this shows the magnitude of what's happening at the moment. Interesting. Okay, 5, have faith. Okay, the Tree of Life and have faith, because something is on its way, a treatment is on its way. And we've also got the 6 of Cups, reuniting with the past, with a happier time, a time when we were able to, I guess, this is before the pandemic. So these are really positive cards. If I were to look at a timeline for this, I would say either the 5th or 6th, possibly even the 7th month. Let's have a look. I'll pull some cards on that. We do have this beautiful, why are we going to get this breakthrough? It's because the world is coming together, because we're bypassing the governments who are certainly in the US. Its federal government is doing an appalling job holding back resources from particular blue states. Every day on the podium there's another lie. I saw something. I don't try not to watch what is going on in the White House. I try not to watch Donald Trump. But Pence was asked a question about health insurance, and he spent 5 minutes trying to dodge that question, rolling out the spin, which is, again, also a fear. People are very, very wary of information sources that we're getting, and rightly so too. At the end of his spiel on health insurance and who would get coverage for those in perhaps the middle class that needed insurance coverage, Donald Trump said, yes, the VP just spent 5 minutes, a very good 5 minutes, not answering your question. So, we're getting a really good look at what kind of energy, this grasping, greedy, lying kind of energy you've got, certainly in the US. We've got the King of Cups energy coming through. We've also got the abundance, the harvest card as well. But, you can't sugarcoat these readings. The Three of Swords warns of a lot of loss before we get to the reprieve. So I'm going to, and of course we've got our our 4 of Cups as well, disappointment. So yeah, we're going through the worst of it, but it looks like there's some kind of treatment on the horizon. Let's see where what sort of timeline we're looking at. Again, we can be hopeful because that's what drives us forward. But we do need to be careful with our information sources. This source is it CBS San Diego, and the as I said, I'll put the interview below the video. So it stands to reason that science, which has been much maligned over the last 3 years, it's not governments that's going to get us out of this, it's science. Okay. And yes, there's irony in that. Right, let's see if we can see a timeline. So as I said, my timeline on this has always been that we'll go through an intense 2 to 3 months period, and then by the time we get to the mid-year, we get some kind of reprieve. Then we're in and out of this, and then by the end of the year, we get some kind of breakthrough. I don't see and you talk to an economist, I don't see the economy recovering in this year. I think it's going to be a 2 or 3 very, very tough years for us as a result of what's going on. But let's just go back to what's going on at the moment with this virus. Can you give me a timeline, Spirit, on when we might get a breakthrough? So I'm seeing that Ace of Cups coming up, which has been coming up in my readings, which says that something will occur to give us a new start. Can you give me a timeline? 4 months, I'm hearing. The number 4 is quite significant. Let's have a look. 4 months. Show me, if you can, Spirit, a timeline on when we might get a breakthrough treatment for this virus. Timeline, breakthrough treatment for this virus. Okay, so I've got loss here. This is the 8 of Cups, and I understand that we don't sugarcoat these readings. This again is a Saturn energy as well, and also a Piscean energy. So we're going to feel the loss quite acutely. The Knight of Wands again, second time it's come up in the challenge. This is the speed of at which we can get a breakthrough on this. So similar signifier cards here. The 7 of Swords is the foundation of the reading. So, we've got this virus, this lockdown, this 2 or 3, I feel, very, very severe months. But in the past position, we've got the 6 of Swords. That's Mercury energy as well. So this is a healing energy in the past. So again, I feel we've already got something that is going to help us, but the challenge is the time. Okay, the 4 of Swords in the potential future. So this is, again, retreat, but it's also that 4 that I found very, very significant. It's a Jupiter card. It's also Libra. So the Jupiter energy is adaptation, and it's also luck. It's an expansive energy. Even though the 4 of Swords usually indicates ill health, it's a time when you need to retreat. It can be wounded in battle. But it's also this Jupiter energy as well. So there's a justice aspect to this. The Devil card. So I feel that, this is greed. I feel that around what is being developed, we've still got, we could still have bidding wars, that kind of thing. You would think something as important as this would sort of be above that, but I still feel that there are going to be profiteering on whatever is developed. I'm not talking about the scientists, I'm talking about those that fund the development of this and then selling it to other countries. The Moon card, so something is hidden. This is the shadow side of people. We get the wolf, this instinctiveness, and then we get the dog here, which is a far more stable energy. But we're seeing a lot of instinctive human behaviour, and this energy here. This is a Piscean energy, which of course is attached to it. We can associate that intuition, that kind of, people are trying to stay ahead of the curve, and I feel this is in relation to this profiteering. So when I say stay ahead of the curve, they're opportune. They are opportunism. This is opportunism here at its worst. So let's keep going, but I do still feel we've got this treatment, judgment. The environment around is something coming to an end. So what has been hidden will be revealed. We talked about a timeline. This unity, that unity will trump this greed that we're seeing at the moment. 6 of Coins, the 6th month. So we've got some giving and receiving help. So I ask Spirit, and I feel that June, July is the timeline for us. We do have loss here. So that there are very interesting cards. And the Wheel of Fortune, something changing for the better. Now where are we now? So we're just starting April. April, May, June, July. Yeah, I'm getting a June, July time frame for a breakthrough. So we've got the outcome of this reading was what is the timeline on this? We get the Six of Pentacles, which is giving and receiving help. We get the clarifiers is loss. This, unfortunately, are those that we are losing to this virus. But we also have the Wheel of Fortune, something changing for the better. I also got my Four of Swords, which again, if I extrapolate it out, it is this June, July type of timeline. At the base of the pack, we have our Yes card again, the Ace of Swords, something new coming along. We have the Knight of Wands, the King of Wands, people stepping up. We've got incredible Palace of Cups, incredible emotion, feeling. That's sort of like my Ace of Cups. So I feel people are hard at work. This is the Eight of Coins. These are the scientists, hard at work to get this vaccination or breakthrough antibody treatment out across the world. But there is a danger here that governments may, because we're all expending so much on this, on various stimulus packages, there is a danger that there could be some kind of bidding war. This we're seeing, things that we didn't think we would see, that personal protective equipment is being sold from countries that need it. So I don't underestimate that kind of rank capitalist approach to something as serious as this global pandemic. All right, so the final question on this kind of update, global update, is are people taking this seriously? Now, in Australia, we've had a travel warning. People were advised not to leave the country, yet there are 1,600 odd Australians that have been stranded because they have ignored those travel warnings. We've had parties like you've had in Florida. Your governors Kemp and DeSantis, big Trump followers, have not locked their states down. Neither has Mississippi, or hadn't. They've only just moved to this lockdown. People perhaps being fairly nonchalant, younger people saying this won't affect me. In Australia, a third of those that have tested positive are young people. So let's have a look. Are people starting to wake up? Finally, wake up and stay at home. So some cards have dropped out. We've got the Three of Coins, which is teamwork, but we've also got the Two of Wands, which is having to make a choice about the long term. So what happens in those situations, and that to me is in the challenge position, that until it's on your doorstep, you're not going to really take this seriously. However, we have this Three of Coins, governments, state governments, all coming together, municipal governments coming together to try and get the message through. So there has been a lot of teamwork. That's another Mars energy. Both of them are Mars energies. So you've got, as much and all as people come together to try and deliver the warning, you've also got people perhaps making that choice. It doesn't affect me. I'm not taking this very seriously. The Ten of Coins, of course, what will happen when they do take it seriously is when it starts to hit the hip pocket, starts to affect their savings. In the past, we've got the Justice. So I feel that anyone who is not taking this seriously now is very, very foolish. Let's just say that. Very, very foolish. The Five of Coins. Again, it is the money loss that is getting people's attention. Immediate future, we've got the Death card. So it's telling me that there is a level of society that still isn't taking this seriously, and until they do, we will start to see people pass away from this virus. However, the wake up call has been the economy for them. Maybe they think they're invincible. The Page of Cups, the communication, they think that this is just headlines. They think that this is an overreaction. Okay, I've got the death card in this reading. They think that this is an overreaction. What do they think is happening in the ICU wards all around the world where people are dying? Yet they still say this is media beat up. You know, and yes, it is occupying our news cycle 24/7, but of course it would be. It's a global pandemic. Here we have the Sun card, and of course that is the virus. They feel that this over over delivery of information about the virus is a little bit of a hoax, and it is only when the economy is impacted that they started to take this seriously. So the Three of Wands in the hope and fears. Of course, this is expansion. This is waiting for their ship to come in. I feel the people that aren't taking it seriously are those that maybe don't want to shut down their income sources. Let's put it like that. Okay, the King of Wands. We've got leadership here, though. We've got leaders stepping forward and sharing what they know and making those rules and regulations. But they are resisting that with the Hanged Man. And of course, it won't be until they start to see things differently, until the death toll perhaps hits close to home with a relative, that they will start to wake up, unfortunately. And the Palace of Wands, this is again inspiration, motivation to take action. But look, they're not making the choices. So yes, people are still persisting with not understanding or accepting or acknowledging the need to take this very seriously. They're perhaps not able to make the right choice because they are people that are still wanting to continue, I guess, with work, or they could be those with businesses. That's just not taking this seriously enough, mainly because of the economy, because of the economic downturn. They still want to keep doing what they're doing. We do have the Two of Cups here, which is telling me that there is a real need to look out for each other. And the Page of Coins, again, perhaps putting money over there, I guess looking out for the next person. But there is with these pages, this is delivering of truth, and there will be a delivery of truth to them one way or another. So I feel that yes, there are people who are still not taking this seriously, but they will. Why will they? Because if they don't, you could pretty much infect someone close to you through making that wrong choice, and that person could actually end up in that ICU ward. So it's not until it hits home that they take it seriously. But I do feel a lot of people perhaps can't shut down because they need to keep their businesses going. They need to keep that money coming in. So they will keep going about their business. There's going to be a percentage that will keep doing that, possibly all the way through this, that lockdown won't be taken as seriously. But there are a lot of workarounds, working from home if you can. So I do see, which is the good news in this reading, I do see that we will get to a reprieve, some kind of treatment breakthrough, which is really, really important, which will make an incredible difference in the trajectory of how hard this is hitting everyone around, I think, June, July. That four was very strong with me, and if I look at 4 months from now, it talks about June, July. So again, this is just a tarot reading. It won't be our governments that will pull us out of this. It will be the scientists. What we've got to watch between now and then is this rank capitalism, I don't even want to call it capitalism. It's something else. It's profiteering, this rank profiteering that perhaps got us here in the first place is still unfortunately unfolding. So I will leave that reading there. Some good news, but also some, again, we have to be fairly realistic. Lives are being lost, and if you've lost someone close to you, my heartfelt condolences. So stay safe, everybody. Take this seriously. It's not something to be mucked about with, and protect yourself and those you love, because at the end of the day, that's all that is important. Okay, thank you very much.